Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the Mount Rushmore Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 31, and we are in for a very big week. Before we kind of get into anything, I want to get a temperature check. We did not have a second episode last week, and our guest actually was very kind enough to point that out for me. We just had some emergencies come up on Thursday, so that's on me. I should have put a tweet out, but we did not have a second episode. This week, we're probably going to make up for that. We have two prediction shows, and we may be having a live show on Sunday. So, got to look forward to. But what I'm going to do first, we're not going to go to the On This Day. We're going to go to our guest. So, we have Matt Lewis from the Good Cop, Bad Cop Wrestling Podcast here today. And what a guest. If you guys checked us out, I was on their podcast not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago. But we brought him over here, and he may come back for another episode. Him and Graham, his co-host. But Matt, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, what got you into wrestling, and then we'll get into also some specifics later.
Okay. Wrestling fan. Sisters, brothers, non-binary others. My name is the Mattnificent Matt Lewis. I am a UK based. You can also call me commentator, fraud. You could call me many things, but mainly wrestling fan and podcast. Well, I guess podcast veteran you say nowadays. I mean,
You are a veteran, yeah. Tell the folks how many episodes.
I mean, Good Cop, Bad Cop. We're coming up on our 250th episode. We've been going 5 years nearly. That we started pre-pandemic, unlike a lot of these fly-by-night podcasts, which started because the pandemic was going on. You guys actually started after it was already ending. So that to be fair, I feel a connection here. You didn't do it because of the pandemic. You did it because of something to do in general. But yeah, I mean, there is a lot of history out there about why the show started. Mainly because I was guesting on Graham's son's podcast because his son was on a naughty step, and it didn't feel right me doing it all the time. So we started Good Cop, Bad Cop, and
nice.
Yeah, it's been that. It's simple. Good. It's exactly the thing. Good Cop and Bad Cop. They argue each other all the time. We find the good stuff in wrestling. We find the bad stuff in wrestling. The good stuff we usually agree about. The bad stuff we tend to disagree about on a regular basis. And that's the narrative we chose. And of course, we also have the amazing Devil's Advocate round, which is a promo battle basically. It's a case of, for example, you have to defend something along the lines of, well, let me think of something off the top of my head here.
The one you gave me was Tamina. Tamina being the number one.
Tamina would have been my number one draft pick. Yeah, that's what I had you. That's what I had you defend, and you did a fine job. To be fair, I may actually. I mean, for example, if one of you two gentlemen, for example, who weren't able to get on the show, I would say to you guys to defend for 20 seconds. You must defend this statement. The Celtics deserve to lose every game this season. Hard to defend. That's the point.
It might not be that hard now.
I'm not going to ask you to defend that because we have had a few times in 250 episodes where the person has said, "Nope, not defending that, not defending that at all." But that's the thing is, sometimes you got to twist it so it can make it fit, sort of thing. Graham does it all the time. He's a bastard for doing that, I tell you.
It's a very fun segment, to be fair, though. It makes you think quickly.
Well, it is not. Well, to be fair, I mean, I've had a bit of practice, so you know, even before. I mean, I'd be more than happy to send you guys the playlist from VGM, Vision God Media, which we're on, of course. And it obviously goes back 5 years, and every year at Christmas we put something out called, which I do, called the Christmas Crackers, where we have little segments of what happened good throughout the year, sort of thing. And the network gets involved, and they all say what their highlights of the year have been. I will be asking you guys to do that this year because I think there's a kinship already. Because I think you guys are brilliant, and you guys deserve spotlighting for sure.
Much appreciated.
Graham also puts an alternative Christmas cracker out, much like in England we have the King's speech. The King will go on TV every year, and he'll be like, and he'll talk about what's been good this year. Well, on another channel, we have the alternative king speech, where someone else is talking about something, so we get to watch the king. It's a British thing he does, and he put an alternative Christmas cracker to piss me off, basically.
I think Gron does most of that stuff to piss you off, so I can see why.
Well, to be fair, we're best friends.
Yeah, I can see the good dynamic though, and that works in exactly what the podcast name is and the theme of it. Because we talked about this a lot too when I was on. Was, if you all agree, it's kind of boring as shit, to be honest. Like, if you disagreed on anything, it'd be tough to get through. You'd just be
It
doing
is
a
hard.
weekly news
That'd be controversial.
I'm quite lucky. I've do several different podcasts. I do gaming. I do Dungeons and Dragons. I usually do a Formula One. I do soccer. My husband does a gaming podcast, Chris Talks Games,
Okay.
on the network, and I produce the show for him. But he does all the order himself and everything. I just put it all in the right places for him. But he does it all solo, the whole thing solo, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. He's absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a guest on his show a couple of times, but Chris is very good at monologuing, and
Yeah.
I think certain things work good for certain people, and yeah, I feel like I'm rambling here.
No, it's okay. No, we will move on to the on this day, but I agree. Also the dynamic for us. I think the three of us, and we potentially had a fourth going into this idea, but our idea was very much we could play off of each other because we do have some similar ideas, but there's definitely some hot takes amongst the group that we don't necessarily agree on, like Roman Reigns or Bryan Danielson or other ventures into that realm. So there's some good takes.
I dare say we'll touch on those throughout the day.
We will hit some of those. So, Chris, why don't we turn it to you? We got the on this day, and then we'll hop into some news.
All right. On this day, May 22nd, 2005, we had a pay-per-view. It was Judgment Day. So I'm not going to go through the entire card. This is one of my favorite Judgment Days. Main events that year was John Cena defeating JBL in an IQ.
Slim pickings, to be fair.
You're not wrong. So just a few other matches on that card. We had Rey Mysterio defeating Eddie Guerrero by DQ. Again, John Cena defeating JBL in the I Quit match for the WWE title. Orlando Jordan defending the U.S. Championship against Heidenreich.
Nice.
Oh, God.
For those that remember Heidenreich. So it really wasn't a good Judgment Day. It was pretty much summed up by one good match.
Top heavy. Very top heavy.
Do you guys remember who was on the poster of this Judgment Day?
It was John Cena with his fists on the table.
Yep.
I don't know if it was a table.
We think John Moxley bleeds like a pig. John Cena lost half his body weight that night in blood.
Oh, yeah.
I take your comments and I wind you back 12 months from that to Eddie Guerrero. And JBL.
That was bad too.
JBL, absolutely.
The Texas Bull Rope.
That was the last That's the last M-rated WWE pay-per-view.
Ooh.
Wow.
Hey Matt,
that's why blading is stupid.
Matt, around what year did you become a wrestling fan? How long?
1999.
99. So
peak of Attitude Era.
I'm an Attitude Era boy, but I've seen my share of blood, mate. Don't worry about that. But even I know that blading is stupid.
It's true.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, and Matt joined probably like a year or two before we really started, but it was around the same time. So we have similar, jump-ins to wrestling. So
yeah,
let's jump into
slightly older. I think I was slightly older. I was a late starter.
Let's jump into the news. And there's a lot to talk about. We'll do a couple things quickly. Rest in peace this week. Superstar Billy Graham did pass away. I just want to look up how old he was. I believe he was 70.
I thought I saw 78, maybe 79.
Yeah,
79. Yeah,
I had to do the eulogy for Good God Bad God this week. That was a tough one to do.
Yeah. So obviously a very famous and I think very well known in terms of wrestling, but a lot of people also like some of the older wrestling heads these days. That was like their first introduction to a lot of wrestling was Superstar Billy Graham in that type of era. So rest in peace to him, 79. And then we have a few other things that I want to talk about quickly in terms of injuries. What a shit week for week for injury. So two
Mainly
big women stars, yeah. So we have Liv Morgan with the shoulder, and then we have Mercedes Moné got injured over the weekend as well.
They said it could be a
against Will
broken ankle.
Nightingale.
They're saying that it could be.
Broken ankle for Mercedes Moné, and Liv Morgan could need surgery on the shoulder. So
you've actually got one.
news.
You've got one more to add to that. Unfortunately,
One
today
more.
it was revealed Dakota
I-
Kai has a torn ACL. She'll be out for 10
I
months.
saw that.
She got hurt in the same.
What was that?
She got hurt in the
I
same
saw- yeah,
match. That
same
Liv
match
Morgan
Liv
got
Morgan.
hurt.
Oh
She got
my
in.
I did see that too.
She got injured, but she got injured protecting Liv Morgan,
Yeah,
who was
it
injured
was a
in that
spot
match.
protecting her. Yep.
Oh, for fuck's Dakota Kai is already torn, I think, at least one ACL.
I had a
Yeah, I
feeling
think
that
same one.
Dakota Kai got injured because she looked like she was wincing as soon as she was grabbing her knee. So I'm like, shit, this could be a bad sign.
Yeah,
Holy
she's
shit,
so
that's
she's
three
so
women.
that's it. In soccer terms, if you do your ACL, you're out for a year.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah,
in soccer.
I think they treat it the same.
Well,
I mean,
this is,
is that what Bailey did, right? As well.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's why she was out for like over. It
Yeah,
seemed
yeah.
like over.
Yeah. Well,
Well-
So Dakota Kai, that's her done for until WrestleMania next year at the earliest.
Say bye to
I
damage
guess
control.
there's no
Yeah,
damage
and that-
control.
it's
break
a quick way to
And
break
that
'em
basically
up.
ruined any plans of like any heel turns and like things along that nature. So that's a big bummer right there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because on Raw tonight they've got that. Is it this week or next week?
I think it's
on
next
Raw?
week.
Then
The tournament, the
I think it's
Fatal
next
4 for the
week.
vacated belts. I think it's next week, the 29th or something.
Because I was going to say, because it's obviously going to put Shotzi with Raquel. I was obviously going to do that. But,
Yeah.
I mean, they could put Io with Bailey, but they've got...
Yeah.
Then they could do a breakup from that. So they can work it round.
Yeah.
Dakota for like a third wheel in that angle, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I love Dakota.
It's a mess. The tag team belts are a mess anyway. So, Matt, we actually want to talk to you about this quickly. The NXT women's tag belts and the women's tag belts on the main roster. What do we think that's going to happen? Are they going to combine these titles? Do we think they're going to defend them on NXT or all three brands?
Well, my personal opinion, and Graham didn't like this when I said this at the time, but the fact of the matter is that when both people who are taking part in that NXT women's tag title match on their last NXT for main roster push, the fact they were both on main roster says it all. The NXT tag team championships were only created because of the pandemic. Okay, they were only created because people couldn't go back and forth to perform. They had to try and isolate things as much as they could. So they created them, but there's not enough women's tag teams in general to necessitate a division on any show. There isn't. They need it to be across all the brands. They need it to be, and it's quite simple. To combine the championships is no problem. Or here's an idea: why don't you give those tag team titles vacant to the NXT tag team champions?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah,
they could have done that.
You could have them win that Fatal 4-Way. I'm surprised they're not in that match.
Maybe they'll play damage control with it.
I think Shayna and Ronda have a really good chance of winning that.
I do too, but I agree. They should just combine the titles and defend them on all three brands.
Yeah,
the other point is this: even if they had the tag teams, they break them up before they're considerably good, anyways. So the women they're a mess in terms of tag teams, and now they're a mess in terms of injuries. So that's a lot of disappointment.
I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't give two fucks about Mercedes Moné.
Oh wow!
Look at Sean.
Careful. Sean is a big. We all three of us met Mercedes Moné.
I wish this was liquor right now.
Have you always felt that way?
I've always thought she was extremely overrated.
Okay.
Listen.
I'm not saying she's not
Listen.
talented.
This is what I like with this
I'm
podcast.
not
We all have our own
saying
opinions. I like that we express our own
It's
views.
getting
I respect it.
tense.
I would like to say that I do not think she's not talented. Okay, she is extremely talented, but in terms of the four horsemen, not even close to the top two.
Who's your top three right now for women's wrestlers? Like for well, actually, yeah, we can go currently in like all three.
No, do the four horsewomen. I want to hear his ranking.
rank the four horsemen.
Rank them. Okay, Charlotte 4th.
Oh, there we go, Jeremy.
Oh my god!
I almost just shit myself.
Yeah, we're getting saucy already. I don't like it.
All right, go ahead.
Charlotte 4th. Sasha 3rd. Second is Bailey, and Becky Lynch is the man.
So Becky,
I agree with,
we had all three of us had Becky on our Mount Rushmore. So anywhere you want to place Becky is respectable, I think.
I think Charlotte's the GOAT, but that's just me. So
Charlotte Flair is only where she is in the business because of her last name.
Thank you.
She's
an incredible athlete, though.
Is she talented? Absolutely talented. But she gets the opportunity she gets, and the doors open for her because her last name is Flair.
There it is.
So I agree to that to an extent, but she is also someone that delivers on the big moments in the big matches every single time.
I'm not saying she's not talented. I'm not saying that.
I think she's the second best talent, but as far as like accomplishments, I don't think she should be getting half the shit she's gotten because of the fact that she's associated with Rick. That's just.
I agree. She should not have however many titles, 14, whatever the amount is.
14, 15. I'm gonna give Graham a shout out here. She'll have 14 championships. She'll win 3, 4 more before her career is over because they want her to beat Rick's record.
Yeah, I think so too. As far as Sasha, I think Sasha is the best overall technical wrestler in my opinion, and I think she does very well as far as like. She's very underrated on the mic as well. She doesn't get a lot of credit on the mic. A lot of people just like kind of get overshadowed because of Becky and like big names like that. But I think Sasha can do it all.
Did you see her first promo in New Japan?
Oh, shut up! She was drunk. Matt, she was drunk. Give her a pass.
Hey Matt, who do you think is a better wrestler in ring than Charlotte Flair?
Better wrestler in ring than Charlotte Flair? In which division?
Any company.
In terms of WWE.
In terms of WWE.
And I'm talking in terms of men or women here, because
women.
Just women.
In terms of what are you talking about? In terms of showmanship? You talking about in terms of actual wrestling ability?
Wrestling ability.
Character?
No, wrestling ability.
Wrestling ability. Charlotte is very, very athletic in the ring, and she's extremely talented. But I generally don't think she is better than. I think you say Mia Yim. I mean, Shotzi Blackheart are two people who are criminally underrated.
Man, who do you think's the better wrestler between Sasha and Charlotte?
Is that what you're getting at? Is it okay? Well, I ranked Sasha above Charlotte and the Four Horsewomen. Okay, I ranked that. but that's like saying
wants to boost to his ego.
But Sean, that is like saying that Chris is cuter than you. Okay. Okay.
How about number 2? So we got Charlotte 4, Sasha 3. What are your top 2 you got?
Of the Four Horsewomen, it was
Bailey Beck. That's right. Sorry about that.
Bailey is amazing. She was amazing as a face. She was amazing with the whole Two Men, but she's such a big fan of a business that she is so good at being.
There's no way I heard the names Mia Yim and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, those don't get me wrong, they're underrated, but they ain't better than Charlotte. You're wildin'.
I'll tell you what. If you're someone who I think is criminally underrated, and I think is actually going to be better than both of them once she actually makes it WWE one day, Jordynne Grace.
Bianca Belair.
Oh, Jordynne Grace. Okay.
Jordynne Grace is somebody who is out of contract with Impact and should make her way to WWE ASAP because
I'm sure Graham likes that pick.
Oh yeah. We when we were at WrestleMania weekend, we took in several shows at White Eagle Hall in New Jersey. And one of them was Black Label Pro, and we were sat on the stage for that one. And Jordan Grace came and sat the row in front of me.
Wow, oh, very cool.
And we watched Jonathan Gresham dive out the ring, catch his foot on the ring, and spike headfirst into the ground.
Oh my God.
At that point, Graham says, "I said to Graham, should I ask you for an interview?" And she, "Don't you fucking dare!" Not least because she hates doing podcasts. She says, "I said."
Oh, okay.
Oh, fine. It's fine.
All right, let's do the other bits for news that we have here. So
I'm distracting you massively already.
Yeah, the Charlotte thing is getting me a little tilted, and I'm sure Sean too. But for the Sasha, but hey, he got his ego boost for Sasha over Charlotte, so I'll take it
for now.
Take the small wins. The other thing I really wanted to mention before we move on to some AEW announcements was Cameron Grimes getting a lot of love backstage, Triple H, other higher ups. I'm a big Cameron Grimes person, and in terms of in-ring, I think he's fantastic. Matt, your comments on him quickly before I go to everyone else.
To the moon, baby!
That's all I need to know.
I think his potential was amazing for sure. I just wish that he had kept the whole Ted DiBiase thing and come up with Ted DiBiase personally. Ooh, but of course, Ted DiBiase is in a bit of legal trouble right now, so that's probably not the best move.
That's fair. But his gimmick would have been really good.
Absolutely,
I think he'll be okay.
I think he'll be more than fine. I mean, he's incredibly talented. He did learn under the Hardy's learning tree, so he knows how to take risks. Obviously, just don't do anything else that Jeff Hardy specializes in. I beg you. I beg you. So yeah, Cameron Grimes will be absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. At least he got drafted, Baron Corbin, had the fastest victory I've ever seen from a debutante. I think
Baron Corbin is also like somewhere else we can go at some point. But Cameron Grimes has got a lot of charisma as well. What do you guys think? Any quick thoughts on Cameron Grimes?
He's going to be perfect for the mid-card division, I think. Maybe a U.S. title, Intercontinental Championship. He's got the promo work. He's got the in-ring ability. I like him. I wasn't a huge fan of him for a long time at NXT. He kind of grew on me. So, I mean, I'm happy he got drafted too. I think he's going to fit in perfect.
Yeah, I second that too. He's someone that definitely grew on me. At first, I was kind of like, I don't see the big deal about like the gimmick, but then honestly, he's very charismatic, which is cool. And then I saw him in ring, and that kind of won me over because I'm like, all right, cool. He's got the $1 million championship thing going. He's got the storyline vision ahead of him, and then the in-ring ability is awesome. I would like to have seen him gone more than 3 seconds against Baron Corbin, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah.
Sean, I think I remember specifically when we were watching Cameron Grimes, I looked to you and Chris, and you both looked like you absolutely hated him early NXT days. And I think I remember you saying, "Oh, I don't fucking like this guy."
I couldn't stand him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Chris said it multiple times as well.
Him and Dijak is another guy I never liked in NXT. I could never.
Oh yeah, he was vanilla.
Von Wagner, but guys like Von Wagner.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, don't get me going already. And then the other thing, so we did add a couple things Sean wanted to talk about too in terms of news, and we've talked a lot about Bray Wyatt, so we'll bring him up first. What are we thinking? Do we think he's potentially done with WWE? What are we hearing right now, Sean?
So the latest I saw was that when they were going through the internal rosters, he was not listed on there. However, that he's still listed on there on the payroll, which is very interesting. So he's basically getting paid to just kind of do nothing, just sit out, which I thought was very interesting because I'm like, all right, how are you on payroll but not on the internal roster? The way it's looking right now, I just think they've given up on him, unfortunately, because we're kind of now laying back into the Vince McMahon taking over situation, whether him and Triple H are splitting shows between Raw and SmackDown or not. I think even Triple H is kind of like, I don't know what to do with this guy. And it's very unfortunate because I love Bray Wyatt. What he does, like he's must-watch TV still, in my opinion. People like can make the criticisms, oh, the story takes too long. And I do agree with that. The story, like with the Uncle Howdy, has been taking a little too long. But overall, though, like he's very entertaining, and even if the wrestling matches aren't, like a Kenny Omega type quality, it's still a great story that you want to be a part of and witness. So it's very unfortunate, but until I actually see it, I don't think he's going to have another go around with WWE.
Matt, let's go to you. I'd love to hear what the guest has to say about Bray Wyatt.
Well, I can only go by what was announced today, which was Fightful Select contacted WWE to inquire about this, and the response back was, and it's out there for everyone to look at, is that he is employed by the company. He is off the internal roster while he was still recovering from his illness and injury. I also noticed that last week you talked about Alexa Bliss, how she's not been on TV for like 150 plus days. Yeah, don't forget she was fighting cancer in that time.
I
So
do remember that.
you know, and she made a full recovery, thank goodness. So I there are reasons why some people aren't around sometimes, and so I have faith that they'll have a run for Bray. But at the same time, what you want is for him to appear out of nowhere. So people say if people keep asking about him, people want him to turn up. Obviously, fact matter is that Bray Wyatt will be back on your screen. It'll be when you least expect it.
Yeah,
I hope you're right.
I agree with that. 100%.
Because the fact matter is, what they need is for everyone to stop thinking about him for a few moments. The problem is that everyone's thinking about it. So as soon as they need to distract us with something. And
they're
then
finish that story with
yeah.
Uncle Howdy. That story's not done yet. They need to finish.
Wowie!
I'm not sure. Maybe Jeremy mentioned to you on like your Good Cop Bad Cop podcast, but we were actually at WrestleMania 39, and we were looking forward to that match with him and Bobby Lashley.
You mentioned it once or twice, yeah.
Because of like the entrance alone, like I wanted to see him live at WrestleMania so bad, SoFi. So it was very unfortunate that match got scrapped.
Got gypped. One thing we can complain about and talk about for a distraction is someone that already has a reduced schedule, basically taking 3 months off. So we will move to a small section of a couple minutes of Roman Reigns taking a hiatus from his already hiatus schedule. I don't know how long it's going to be. I think I've read it's probably like 3 months. My guess is, till SummerSlam or whatever. He'll be on SummerSlam, but who knows? My guess is it'll happen after SummerSlam, and then he probably won't come back for a while. I don't know what the build card is for SummerSlam or what the rumored match is yet for him, but who knows? But it's coming, and obviously this gives all the indications that Cody and Roman Reigns are going to main event WrestleMania 40. But the frustration for me is still driving me crazy that Roman Reigns, who's not even there monthly, is going to take even more time off at this point. This to me, like when I first heard this initial reaction, was this: they should have just fucking put the titles on Cody at WrestleMania instead of letting this now play out for an even longer time. I also, and we talked about this a couple times, I'm also of the nature that the Bloodline story is getting a bit sour, I think, with the fans, and I think there's not as much steam. It's lost a lot of steam since when the original story happened. So if they were in the third inning, what'd you say? What'd you say, Matt?
You're not all my predictions, then.
So I'll just be that. I know Sean wanted to talk about that, but you guys' thoughts, anyone can kind of chime in quickly.
Yeah, I think with his schedule, it's really gonna determine now as far as like what's the like goal driven as far as how long is it gonna be till Cody actually gets that belt. Because I think we're all in agreement. I would assume that Cody's gonna be the one that's taking that belt off Roman. It's just a matter of when is it gonna happen. Will it be SummerSlam? Will it be WrestleMania? If he does take a significant reduced schedule, I don't know what the like details specifically are yet, because they've kind of hinted at a whole bunch of different time periods. I can honestly see that belt being off of Roman by SummerSlam. I think Cody could potentially win Money in the Bank, and then the Usos along with Solo all turn on Roman, and that's where Cody finishes the story at SummerSlam. And then, Rock was mentioning, oh yeah, 40, I'll be ready for Roman. And we were talking, if we want Rock and Roman, a title does not need to be involved. And what better way to sell that than the belts being off of Roman and then going into Philly with that matchup? Now, obviously, that's not confirmed. We don't know if Rock
I'm liking your thoughts here, Sean. I'm liking your thoughts.
Love it. But yeah,
Sean's an optimistic person that wants these dream matches every year, and it's just not.
I mean,
Rock
even be ready, so you never know.
There's nothing wrong with wanting your dreams.
But on the second part, though, I can also see Roman also delaying it and kind of keeping him off TV for a long time, kind of seeing how Cody builds momentum, and then him going at rematch at WrestleMania 40, which honestly I don't want to see, because at WrestleMania 40, it's a given Cody's win. That's a predictable outcome.
So was WrestleMania 39.
No, that one was 50-50 booking.
I guess.
That's my take on it, so I don't really know, but it's just going to be a situation of like, all right, what are they going to do? How does Triple H want to go about this on keeping the belt on Roman for that long, or just giving it to Cody and then just building new feuds for him?
I'm gonna chime in here and sort of drop the mic after what I'm about to say. Roman's last event he's advertised for is Money in the Bank at the O2 Arena in the United Kingdom. He loses them that night.
Okay.
To the cash in. To the cash in.
That's no. Honestly, that's no.
Do you think it'll be Cody?
Cody is what everyone expects. I'm gonna say the Ring General.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I could see it.
That would be
because that's somebody who can legitimately beat him, keep his undefeated streak on the main roster going, and then they can have a little bit of a rivalry while Roman is off recovering with the Usos and Solo against Imperium for a little bit. It can happen for a little bit, and then you get to have Gunther at Survivor Series in the War Games again. Maybe that'd be fun to see Gunther in the War Games.
A IC belt and World Universal belt. That's a good streak right there for him.
And I will say that Graham had asked me before, well, what about his IC belt? He drops it. The Warrior dropped it back in WrestleMania 6. Keith Lee dropped the North American Championship once he won the NXT Championship. They can just drop championships. It's not a problem. Asuka dropped the Women's Championship when she got promoted to the main roster. Some people don't have to be beaten to drop championships because they don't need this anymore. Someone else can have it. I brought, and to be fair, he has brought a lot of prestige back to that championship.
I agree
for sure. Of course.
I agree.
What'd you say, Chris?
I said Roman should drop them. No one can beat him. He's got nothing else to prove.
He just give him up.
Oh God.
On the Hollywood.
It's sickening.
Acknowledge me.
Still going to be Cody and Roman at 40.
I agree.
Nope.
I think
it won't be Cody.
100%.
No.
That's SummerSlam. Roman at
Cody. At WrestleMania 40, it's Cody versus Randy.
Cody and Randy, okay.
Ooh.
I would love that
too.
I would love that too.
I would love
to
that
be
too.
fair.
And that would be Randy's
only if I'm guaranteed that Randy can use the RKO. Like,
yeah, Sean's got the stipulation in this man's contract.
Got to use the RKO.
He has to use the RKO. I agree with him. To be fair,
well, given delivering the RKO is what's done his neck in so badly, he needs to be spared. I'm saying his farewell match needs to be at WrestleMania 40. Who better to retire him than Cody?
That's true.
The apprentice is taking.
Corbin.
Oh,
he retired. Kurt
Do you know how much that annoyed me at WrestleMania 35 when I was there in person?
Oh, we were there too. We were pissed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you guys didn't know that. I forgot to tell you that. Matt and Graham were at WrestleMania 35 as well when we were there. But yeah, Sean, this is what I'm talking about with Sean's optimism. Literally to the minute that Baron Corbin came out, he insisted that it was going to be John Cena.
Even
during the
match, when Corbin is beating him,
yeah,
Sean's like, no,
right.
Cena's going to cost him.
Still. Wait, just wait.
Yeah, and then even after the match, I'm pretty sure he was like, "Oh no, he'll have another match with Cena."
One of the best moments
when Baron Corbin's music hit, and I'm just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
You're like, "Wait, it's not Cena."
Steven Ferguson.
The best thing about that was when Kurt Angle went to say goodbye to see all of his kids, ringside and like gave him all a hug and kisses and all that stuff. I just turned to Graham and said, "There's someone missing. Who's missing?" Like, well, where's Jason Jordan? And it made Graham just laugh out loud.
The prodigal son. He was in backstage.
He was in Gorilla.
Giving him a nice hug when he came back.
Should have made it Chad Gable. Is all I'm saying. It would have been perfect. It would have been. Chad Gable had nothing going for him.
That's true. Chad Gable
now he does. I love Chad Gable now. He's brilliant.
Yeah. Me too. He also reminds me of what Kurt Angle was. In terms of ability, I think Chad Gable has the
approach you're gonna get now. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Let's switch gears just for a minute. We'll talk about the last piece of news. So this is kind of an update, and we'll probably dive into this a little bit more on our Double or Nothing show on Thursday. But AEW finally announced the Collision show. The tour for Canada will start June 17th, and then they're touring Canada. The first two shows are not in Canada, but and then they're doing a 6-show tour in Canada. So AEW Collision officially announced. I have heard ticket sales have not been good so far today, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for a good start to the show.
Never booked on Saturday.
I just think it's a tough day to. But to be fair, when else? I'm trying to think of the other days of the week that don't have wrestling already, and it's hard to think of them.
Maybe do a Thursday or something.
Thursdays.
They'll kill Impact.
Yeah, but it's very niche. I just think it's tough for those situations that.
What time is it scheduled for?
I think it's scheduled for 8.
They could also go head with NXT if they do Tuesday. That's a good way to. That's a good way to spite Shawn Michaels and Triple H and all them.
It's a new. I just don't think they have the pull yet.
The problem, the big problem is that Collision is going head to head at WWE pay-per-views.
Yep. Saturday Night's Ray, exactly.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I forgot about that part. That is a problem. They'll probably see a lot of DVRs.
Triple H is going to book every single pay-per-view on Saturdays now.
They are booked on Saturdays.
They pretty much are, yeah. They flip-flop for a little while, but now they're pretty much...
The only one that isn't is WrestleMania, because on Tuesday...
And Triple H gives the most politically correct answer. No, we're not. We're just doing a coincidence for a holiday. It's like, dude, clearly.
Well, okay, so to be fair, just to combat that as well, this weekend is a perfect example of WWE and NXT being fucking stupid, because they put Battleground on the same day as Double or Nothing at the same time. They are the ones that are going to lose out, because Double or Nothing is a pretty big pay-per-view, and AEW pay-per-views only happen 4 or 5 times a year. So if you're a wrestling fan, you're probably going to choose that one.
And HBK gave the most bullshit response to that, question that. So it's like, dude, clearly it's to try and draw ratings, but you're going to get the shit end of the stick on this one.
Yeah, I don't agree with NXT trying to rival AEW.
They should have just had
Night of Champions. I don't know. If you're asking me which one I'd rather watch, the one I ain't got to pay $60 for.
I was about to say that the pay barrier is also in there specifically for that. So I do understand if people want to watch. If they have Peacock for all the other ones, it's an easy
exactly. I mean, when you think about it this way, I've already got Peacock. I ain't got to pay for it again. I can stream it live and watch it many times I want, or $60 for one time.
That's true.
Doesn't really add up to me. And this is what they need. This is what they need to sort out with this deal, with this whole streaming thing, and we'll get sorted out with platform. They want to sort out for library and all that stuff to try and rival the network, because unless they bring them costs down and start having more regular premium live events. Then start having those sort of things. I'm sorry, WWE is going to kick your ass all the time, because right now you're relying on Daniel Bryan blading every week and Moxley blading every week to try and put butts in seats, and it ain't working.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Things are going down.
They need Punk.
Yeah, they do.
No, they fucking don't. No, they fucking don't.
Yes, Chris, I'm glad. I literally did not build him into this agenda, hoping someone was going to bring him up or I was going to bring him up at some point.
I was intrigued to what your view on CM Punk was.
Phil Brooks is.
This is gonna split the podcast right now.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm talking perfect sense here. Let me take you on a little journey back to 2011. Okay, 2011, the pipe bomb. Okay, I'm imagining the three of you in short trousers, all sitting on the same sofa, eating your ice cream bars, and watching this. Okay, and at the time it was groundbreaking. Okay, it was groundbreaking. Of course it was. Let me just pop those balloons for a moment, okay? That was a scripted pipe bomb. That was not off. I mean, can he? Of course he can. He's good at doing promos. Of course he is. But that was all fine. It was all run past Vince first. It was designed to be edgy, because otherwise they would have cut his mic off. There's no way Vince would let that happen.
That was no a scripted pro. Yeah, I do agree with that.
And I'm going to continue. I'm sorry, I'm continuing. Because I need to get this out, because otherwise people are going to think that I've just got nothing. I want to get it out and move on from it. Okay. He had re-signed his contract with WWE months before that. Okay. It was made a big deal, because there's no way they'd talk about this stuff on TV if it was actually going to happen. We all bought it, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, that is what it was. That's fine. I'm going to fast forward you now to when on the 20th of August, when he debuted on Rampage. Okay,
huge.
Rest in peace, Rampage. By the way, pretty much. He came out and word for word said the same fucking thing. It's like watching a tribute show by a lesser good performer. It was not exciting. CM Punk is a extremely talented wrestler. No question about it. Phil Brooks is a fucking cancer on the business. However,
go ahead.
Okay. And to add to the question, who has CM Punk ever put over in his
Undertaker.
Career? Who?
I was about to say that.
That's what I can think of.
Triple H.
Triple
H.
To the greatest of all time. Yeah, try again, buddy.
Listen,
okay.
It's not just about MJF people over.
In the first match.
No. I'm calling you on that. MJF got himself over. MJF got himself over.
Punk didn't get that without Punk.
Oh, he was over before he signed AEW, mate. Do not give me that bullshit.
Well, I'm in between.
Who had he beat up to that point?
I disagree is because it's not just about putting someone over either. I just think AEW as a company is better with Punk for the simple fact that it makes their product and their ratings and therefore their production value in the future, because they have more viewers, that'll be able to go to a higher limit, and he'll spark things that others can't. And for me, he still puts on good promos with people in AEW that I think need it. Like, there's other younger stars that need elevation, and he can elevate them.
And beats them.
Listen, maybe
he's never paid his dues ever.
I'm trying to think of specific examples to count.
There is none. There isn't one. Trust me, I've looked. All right. Okay. Trust me, I've looked. Okay. He only lost his undefeated streak because of shenanigans in AEW. He's never put anybody over coming up in WWE ever. He's not put anyone over successfully in AEW either. You mentioned MJF, but he'd already beaten. He had the most fantastic rivalry with Chris Jericho. Okay, MJF is so over right now. He hasn't even got to say anything, and MJF is over. All right. I'm sorry, but anyone out, and I don't care if I get cancelled for this. CM Punk is hated so much by the people who employ him, they won't even put him on TV.
Whether he's hated or not, though,
can I
we
chime
just
in?
talked about his debut.
So I agree with both. You guys both make good points. So to Jeremy's point, he is box office, so he is definitely going to be generating a lot of ratings for AEW and make the company better. To Matt's point, he absolutely is a cancer to AEW. I thought he did great things with WWE, and I thought he was worked well with a lot of the people. I didn't really hear any complaints in WWE. AEW, though, he's an absolute menace. I don't know what it is. If it's I know he was like kind of hinting this immaturity amongst the superstars. Ace Steel, if you're Ace Steel, for example, you can't bite one of the fucking EVPs and then expect to like things to go your way. And TK already bring.
We're not talking about Ace Steel.
No, but he was involved in like that like altercation. Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of bringing him into this.
Yeah.
Him getting into an altercation with Kenny and then the Jackson brothers. It's like if you're going at it with the EVPs, it's like your future is not looking bright at this company. So I agree with you on that point, but then also in totality, if AEW wants to get to that next level, they do got to bring back Punk because the fact that he does draw ratings and he's easily probably an extra 150, 200,000 viewers. So
it's just the right move to make. I don't
and I'm
care.
I'm neutral on the whole thing with like the elite not wanting to work with them. Like I'm not against it, and I'm also not for it. So I'm kind of neutral. I don't really care. I kind of expected they didn't want to work with them anymore. Business wise, it would make sense to work together, but at the end of the day, though, they're gonna do whatever they want to do.
Matt, I'll let you go in 1 second. Chris, I want to go to you first.
I was gonna say again, we talked about it before. If that altercation happened in WWE, it would have been squashed and they would be working together again.
Correct.
And that's what's best for business. When it comes down to it, in AEW, who cares? Be professionals. At the end of the day, you work at the same place. You have to work together. I'm no manager of AEW, but again, how many altercations have there been that we don't hear about that guys still work together? That's my biggest thing on it. I think be professional and work together. That's my thing.
When you got the Snow King running things over there for a start, it's probably not the best example. Okay, the lunatics run the asylum over there, and that's never been more proof of the fact that creative is a mess in general. Not creative is a mess for the women's division as well. They've got such a talented roster of women, but they can't book right. It's ridiculous.
DK hates the women.
Yeah, well, the fact that is that maybe there's things need looking at on that side of things. I'm going to conclude at this point about Punk because I think we've got more important things to talk about than someone who isn't on TV right now. But because we need to talk about who actually is on TV, not someone who should or shouldn't be. But you talk about Punk needs to be back to create better ratings, sort of thing. Why don't they have this novel? Why don't we do something novel here? Like, I don't know, create a new star.
They haven't. I think they have a problem.
They have a problem doing that.
Everyone does that. Everyone does that. WWE did that over years. Hulk Hogan, he went, created new stars. Bret Hart left, created new stars. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, Roman when he goes. Sorry, boys, it's going to happen eventually. They'll create new stars. CM Punk, it's not working. Create a new star. And you've got one. It's called Orange Cassidy.
I think Sammy Guevara is another one. I think has a lot of potential.
And Ricky Starks is another one. There's so much that they tried, but
there's so much good stuff there. Wardlow, they could take someone and they could push someone in that company. Whoever it is.
I know what you mean.
I'm saying I picked a name at random, all right? Pushed them, and they've got an amazing talented roster of ex WWE guys. Why do we need the one guy who wasn't around for 10 fucking years?
Yeah, that's the thing with TK. I think he's trying to like bank on the fact that he's trying to generate his ratings based off of the WWE like energy, like bringing that to the forefront. to the forefront,
success.
and that's it. It's a good business
no,
move, but
it
at the same
doesn't make
time
sense.
though, like they do got to generate more stars and give them TV time to prove themselves.
Sean is right here. Sean is absolutely right. He's talking sense. I don't know what you're talking about him having bad takes. He's talking absolute sense here.
Thank you. You too.
The fact matter is that WWE have a very clear model of what they do. AEW is meant to be the alternative. Why are you trying to be like your competition?
Exactly.
It's true. That's because a lot of their guys are WWE guys. That's why they're trying to be like.
But that's the thing, you see. Why? There's so many people in that. I mean, you've chased off Jonathan Gresham. Okay, Jonathan Gresham, who's now gone to Impact, one of the best technical wrestlers on the fucking planet. Tony Khan, you cunt. And I never say that.
And we've talked about this so many
times.
My
husband will vouch for.
we have talked about this so many times where when AEW is in a tough position, they always go back to the old guys. They don't push anybody new. They go back to what they know.
Yep.
And that's not pushing new stars.
That's true. Well, that was spirited. So all that for a Collision announcement. Unfortunately, we had to bring up CM Punk. But we will move on from the news. So we have hit our point in the show. We are transitioning to one of our favorite parts is the prediction part. And we have a guest for the first time for joining our predictions. So now we have a fourth member of the game. Stiff competition. Who won the last round? Chris had a perfect card for the last pay-per-view. So good on him. They're getting smaller as well, so we only have 6 matches. So the thing about this is, I guess it's a little bit easier to get the matches correct now. But let's go into it. I will go over the card. We will go over everyone's picks. Just as we do every time, we will go whatever order, and we'll go reverse for the rest. And then we will kind of go through each match, give your prediction for the match, and then give your point value 1 through 6, and then we will go from there. Hopefully a lot of you know because you've been watching, so you kind of know how this goes. So let's go through the full card for. We'll go match by match, but I'll give you the card. Right now, there's only 6 matches, as I said. If they add another one after this, it does not count for our prediction purposes, but obviously we'll talk about it in a later time. So first match I have on here is Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles for the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. I will go first. I have Seth winning this, but I am not confident. I have a 1 on this match. There's a funny inkling for me that somehow they could give AJ Styles this championship, even though AJ is one of my favorites. I just, again, don't necessarily agree with the fact that they're going to move him back to the show he just came from a draft. But I will pick Seth, but I am not confident in it. So give me Seth Rollins. He deserves the win, right? So as we've talked about this for the last couple of months, he's been the solidified workhorse, it seems, for years. And also with Roman holding the titles hostage, he's not been able to get back in that picture and has not had a world championship in quite a long time. I try and forget about his last world championship run because it was as a face and it was probably his worst title run of his career. But I think it's time for Seth Rollins to kind of gain that championship gold back, and I think he'd be doing great things.
I'll go second. So I also have Seth Rollins, but I'm a little more confident. I'm going to go Seth for 4 here. And I think I'm kind of like tying the pieces together, and I'm looking at it as far as, Raw is very stacked already. And I don't think AJ winning the belt, because he'll have to go over to Raw at that point. Having him on there would do a lot of damage to SmackDown, in my opinion, because there's a lot of feuds that he already has available for SmackDown. I also think that Grayson Waller effect is going to get involved. I think he's going to cost AJ and then set up, kind of continue their feud that they had in NXT. And also the fact Triple H kind of views Seth as like the guy as one of the biggest workhorses in the company, holding it down, always there every week and putting on like classic after classic. And I think it's only fitting to like reward him for that hard work and give him that championship. So Seth for 4.
All right, I'll go third. I have Seth for 2. So I think I mean, I'm a little bit more confident than Jeremy. I'm right below Sean, so I'm kind of in the middle. I do think there's a chance that AJ could win this match as well. I would love to see that. I'm a huge AJ fan too, but it is Seth's time. He's been over for the past like two. He's always been over with the crowd, but this specific run that he's on right now, he's on another level, and what better way than reward him with the first ever, well, the new World Heavyweight Championship. So I got Seth for 2.
Matt's got his pipe out. He's ready for his predictions.
It's a clean sweep here. This is my pointing pipe. I'm going to make a point. My pointing pipe. It's Seth, but Seth for 6. It's way too obvious. Mainly because AD can get screwed. Not by Grayson Waller though. He gets screwed by Karrion Kross. He's got 2 rivalries going, as you say, on SmackDown at the moment. It makes way too much sense. It's just too well written here. The only reason they had this whole Raw vs. SmackDown tournament first for him to stay on SmackDown. And Seth deserves his flowers, as everyone has said. And it's just the place is because the Saudis wanted AJ over there for the championship, which is fine. It's fine. It's gonna be it'll be a good match, and we may see that down the road again in the future, sort of thing. But no, I think though AJ would be a fine world champion, of course he would be. It's AJ fucking Styles. It's Seth freaking Rollins with a curb stomp after the distraction of Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Sean, put your camera up a little bit. We lost your head there. Matt, we'll have you bring it back for us with the next match as well. So the next match is.
You mean now or no?
Still the clear chest, mate. It's not a problem at all.
I don't know. I'm not looking. It's a little bit higher.
I'll hold it. I'll hold my phone instead. I was gonna rest it, but it's not working out with the plan.
It's too late. So Matt, we're gonna bring back to you. We're gonna have you keep going. So the next match we're gonna go into would be Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
Cody won in like 7-8 minutes at Backlash, which was fine. It was fine. He got the quick leverage pin off for Kimura. It made sense for that. The only way he's gonna win, really. He was the only way he could win, really, because he doesn't stop pounding Cody's face in, basically. I don't know. I've sort of got Brock winning by Brock losing by DQ. Because we've seen how he can cut someone open with his knuckles. Probably the SummerSlam, which I'm fine with. Before with Randy. Let's face it. This has got more legs in it, and this is not where this rivalry finishes. This rivalry is gonna roll on. To be fair, because Cody's rivalry is with Brock, and I do believe they are both on Raw, so that's fine. I'm fine with it. Cody to win by DQ, but I will say for free, because I'm a bit iffy on it.
I'm right there with you. Cody for 3 for me as well. I didn't really have a prediction as far as how the match is going to end. I just think Cody's going to win somehow, whether it's by DQ, whether it's another roll-up on Brock when he has the Kimura locked again. I could see that happen again. But I'm with you on this. I don't think that this rivalry is going to end here either. Even though Cody's going to be up 2-0 on him, Brock's going to want to come back and get one more over on Cody. So I really don't think this rivalry ends until, again, maybe Money in the Bank or SummerSlam as well. I think if Cody is in the Money in the Bank ladder match, he'll be on that last ring trying to get that Money in the Bank, and Brock can come out and screw him out of that as well. So I'm with you. Cody for 3. This rivalry is not going to end here.
I have Cody for 1. And I think that it's going to be kind of similar to their first match at the Puerto Rico show and Backlash, where it's going to be like kind of like a fuck finish, where it's going to be controversial, where Brock's going to do enough to get close, and then Cody does something to weasel out of it, whether, he does like a Cody cutter and then Brock gets trapped on something, whether it's a count out or a DQ. I feel like at this point in Brock's career, Brock's only kind of there to battle the big names and kind of dominate during the build-up, but when it actually comes to the actual final product in the ring, he's not going to go over on Cody. Especially now, Cody can't afford any losses at this point as he's on his quest to finish this story. And I think if you need to get qualified into Money in the Bank, you can't afford to take a loss here to Brock. You got to get the win, get qualified, and then whether Brock screws him out of the Money in the Bank or he continues on and actually wins it, I think that will be a good option. But I just can't see Cody losing many matches right now.
I'm more confident than all of you. I have Cody for 5. I also do not see how he loses against Brock Lesnar. I think if you beat Seth Rollins 3 times, and if you continue this feud, he beats Brock Lesnar 3 times. I just think, in my opinion, Cody is just above Brock Lesnar at this point. Brock's past his prime. He's still a big star, but Cody's the guy, and you push him, and I just think it's an easy call for me. So I have Cody for 5. I won't
Point of order,
further on that.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
The next match.
Cody Rhodes would be the first person ever to have 3 victories over Brock Lesnar, if that's to be the case.
Did Roman get 3 on?
Nope.
I thought Roman got 3 on Brock.
Roman's got 2.
He got.
I think
Roman got
the last man standing.
He was at 30. Roman didn't invest him at 39. Roman invested him at 38. SummerSlam
38. Yeah, 38. SummerSlam and the last man standing. And
okay, he had beat him 3 times. Okay, I apologize for that.
The Universal Championship.
It's a very,
but
only 2 other people have beaten him twice, and that's Cena and Goldberg.
Wow.
There's a very short list of people who've got 2 victories over over Brock Lesnar for sure. Well, absolutely, but as I point out, we all had Cody going over here, which means that Brock knows how to put someone over. Just saying, Phil.
Yes.
I did see a funny along the lines. I did see part of John Cena's more recent interviews, and he did say that about Brock. Like, he's a very willing person to put folks over, and I think even more now in the later stages of his career, we may not love his matches.
I think we like him more now.
He has put a lot of people over in terms of that spot.
Well, that one was fun, maybe.
Yes,
but it's his later matches in his career nowadays. So he's heading toward his 50s now. Bless him. I say bless him like he's a child. Yeah.
It's unbelievable how long he's actually been doing it. That's another conversation we'll have too. But next match, I'll skip the tag match. We'll save that for last. We'll go to Trish versus Becky Lynch. Not confirmed yet, but will be a contract signing this evening on Raw. So I did want to include this match. Where were we? Am I going first again? Is that what it is? Okay. So this is an interesting one for me. I think this feud goes more than one match. So I have Trish, and I have her for 3. I just think they want to build this match towards a SummerSlam as well. So I see them going at least 2 matches. And I think Trish gets away with 1 win somewhere. And I think this is the 1 win. Whether Becky beats her twice in a row or Becky beats her 1 more time, I don't think it's a one-off match. I just think this match is going to happen twice. So give me Trish as an unexpected pick for me. But it seems like Becky's also getting the upper hand, and we'll see about the contract signing tonight. But it seems like they're edging her, pushing her the way, and getting the advantage for her. So Trish started in the beginning. Becky's ending. I just think it's kind of turning.
Yeah. So before I make a pick, whoever gets the upper edge tonight in the contract signing is losing, I think. Let's just put it out there. So I have Becky for 2, and I also think it's going to be more than 1 match. But I think Becky's going to win. I think it's maybe 2. Let's say 3 matches. I think Becky's going to take 2 out of 3 if it goes 3 matches. I wouldn't be shocked if it's only 2. But I can see Becky winning this first one and then qualifying for the women's Money in the Bank, and then Trish screwing her out of that in a later time period to kind of get her into the rematch down the line. But right now, I just don't see a spot where Trish, she's still a part-timer. I just can't see many feuds where the part-timer goes over on the very first match in like a trilogy potentially. So I'm keeping mine short and sweet. Just Becky for 2 in that one, but wouldn't be surprised if Trish were to win though.
I went with Trish for 1. This is my least confident match of the night, and I definitely think this is a really good opportunity to have Trish go over as her pretty much first singles match back as being a part-timer against the man Becky Lynch. I think Trish needs this win a lot more than Becky does, especially if they're going to keep her around for a few months and maybe, like Jeremy said, continue this through SummerSlam. I just don't think it would make sense to have, Trish turn heel and then lose immediately. I think she needs to pick up a win, make a statement, and then Becky comes back and beats her either at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. So that's my pick. I'm going with Trish for
all
1.
three of you one thing. You've all said the same thing more or less about Trish. Who told you that she was a part-timer? She was drafted. Okay. She was drafted. And I have just
She was
checked.
drafted.
Right.
It wasn't hard to check. Graham knows I do it all the time during Google Backup. It wasn't hard to check. She's on a 3-year deal. Full time.
So I did see she signed a deal, but she has also said in an interview she can't be there full time because of her kids and things like that. She's been there somewhat.
If we think Roman Reigns has a limited schedule, Trish Stratus is about to take the cake on this schedule, on this contract.
I don't know.
She's been there every week since she came back.
She has been there a lot.
She's been there every week,
since she's
bar
come
maybe
back,
one.
to be fair.
But the fact that I think Trish is going over here makes sense for the heel to go over, but at the same time, it's a 1 with Becky going over, but I don't know. It's hard to call. This is my hard one to call of the night for sure. Everything else is pretty much straightforward for me.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. The other women's match. Bianca versus Asuka. Rematch of WrestleMania. Rematch of WrestleMania 39.
Match.
Matt will go.
I'm a big fan of both these women. Big fan of Bianca's strength and athleticism. I think that Asuka is criminally underrated. People forget how good she is sometimes.
Chris about to lose it.
I don't care. This is my pick.
He agrees with you so much. He agrees with you wholeheartedly.
Asuka up until WrestleMania 34 was untouchable. Since then, she has been about as reliable as a handbrake on a canoe.
She's been quite touchable.
0-5 at Mania.
Yeah. I was trying not to bring that bit up, but this isn't at WrestleMania. This is at Night of Champions, and it makes they're both on SmackDown fighting over the Raw Women's Championship, which intrigues me, I suppose, the fact that they haven't swapped the championships. Don't get me wrong, actually. I'm glad they haven't swapped the championships. But it intrigued me as to why they haven't. So I'm sort of like just waiting to see what happens with that, to be fair. I mean, this match will be fine. I've Bianca going over. It's 6 out of 6 for me. It's obvious Bianca's going over. But would it be a good match? Sleeper match. It's the sleeper match of the card for me.
I think it'll be a good match as well.
I think it's going to be a good match. If it wasn't for Asuka losing at WrestleMania 39, I would have won that card. So I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm going with Bianca for 5 here.
This is the one she's going to win.
WrestleMania, and I'll never forgive her for that. If she does win this one, I will pick her every time after this. No matter who she faces, that's a deal. I will pick her every time. Just to be sure, but I got Bianca for 5.
If Asuka wins by DQ, that still counts as a win. If she doesn't win the championship, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have Bianca
Sean,
for 3. Usually like if there's like a title change, there has to be some indication that kind of gives like a momentum swing, and I have not seen anything of that. And I love Asuka in ring. I've never had an issue. I'm actually a big fan of her in ring ability. But as far as everything else, like she can't carry a storyline in this feud has been absolute dud. Going into WrestleMania 39, then continuing into Night of Champions, there isn't any indication besides mist in Bianca's eyes that is not going to like kind of sway my opinion to pick an Asuka to win the belt over Bianca. And Bianca just got the record, and I feel like if she's going to drop the belt, it's got to be to like a big time name where it has like a big like rivalry and feud storyline that's going. And I can also see it being where she holds a belt along with Rhea Ripley for a while. It could be champion versus champion. I could potentially see down the line at WrestleMania 40 if they decide to go that route. But who knows? But Bianca,
I am so used to being in control of a stream, I can't mute him. I very rarely mute guests when I'm on my podcast, but I muted you because you wouldn't shut up.
Oh, he muted me. I got muted. Hey, you know what? Let me see where my mute button is. It's over for you, sir. All right, you get
any Roman disrespect, you're getting muted.
20 seconds. Where's my mute button?
I think he took over. Oh,
no, I got it. Okay,
all right, now let's talk about CM Punk. What a
pipe bomb. All right, man, I'll release you. So, what I will say is this. I must have swapped places with Chris. I picked Asuka to win this match. And I picked Asuka for 2. I think that there has been a lot of stuff going around with Asuka potentially not being happy, wanting to leave, not being treated right. For me, this is an opportunity for them to right their wrong if they really want to keep her.
Mania.
And I wanted to spice it up a little bit. Do something I did not think I would ever do, and that was pick Asuka to win the women's championship. If I regret it, fine. Listen, it's only 2, and that might be the difference. That's fine with me. But if I get it right, you'll never forgive me for it. So.
And I'll never forgive her for it.
Exactly. So I will take that on the chin.
I better get my Becky pick.
Yeah, that's a big match.
I better get my Becky pick.
Oh, God. Okay, the next match we have is Gunther versus Mustafa Ali, excuse me. This one for me is the easiest match to pick on the card. This is a 6 on Gunther. This man is not losing this match. I don't know when he's going to lose the title, but I think he's going to break that streak and then lose the IC championship. So for me, this is an easiest pick on the card. 6 for Gunther.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Gunther for 6. He's there for the IC title record, which I think is, I believe they said November, if I'm not mistaken, is when he's supposed to beat the record. Or it could be earlier, but yeah, Gunther is right now, until that time period, he's just there to be fed challenges because they can't find anybody else for him. So yeah, throw Ali in there. So yeah, Gunther for 6.
Short and sweet, Gunther for 6. I was shocked when Ali won that battle royal to get the rights. Disappointed to face. I do like him. He's a great athlete. Yeah. Gunther's gonna chop.
Oh, he's a dead man.
He's in for a whole lot.
Probably worse than the Adam Cole one that we saw in NXT.
He's in for Dragunov level.
For a lot of pain.
But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about this one. Gunther's gonna dominate and continue on this run.
Ali for 3. I have such a point to make here.
Dad is back.
Oh my!
Oh my!
You don't even believe that.
Hear me out. It makes perfect sense. Ali wins by count out.
No, it doesn't.
count out.
He wins by what?
By
how the fuck is he getting a Gunther out after 10 seconds?
Walk me through
Capello,
it.
sell me on it. Job
me.
interview, sell me.
Please.
Sell yourself on this.
You aren't selling me on it, but
they've started investing time in Mustafa Ali, rightly, because Mustafa Ali is amazingly talented. The fact of the matter is Mustafa Ali is now getting his big push. It makes no sense for Night of Champions to be where it all ends. It makes no sense. For Gunther to take a blemish on his record without losing his championship, that's going to build up, and he's going to be hunting Mustafa Ali week after week after week. And it'll probably come to a head probably at Money in the Bank, for example. I'm not saying that Ali's win the championship. No, far from it. Ali is going to get a blemish on the record, for example. Think of it as like he'll probably get destroyed after the match. Absolutely. But I've said Ali for free, but double count out is possible. This match is not as straightforward as we think, guys.
I disagree.
It's pretty clear to
me. Listen, I definitely understand your argument, and I discard it because this is definitely the most. It is very clear to me that Gunther is not losing or count out, double count out, no way, to Mustafa Ali. If it happens, hey, I will eat my friggin' words next time I'm on. Matt, we will keep it with you. We're going to go to probably what's going to main event, as long as it's not Cody Brock again. Oh, God. We're going to go to the tag match. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
This has shenanigans written all over it, doesn't it, this match?
You bet your
obviously, Kevin and Sami have retained the championships here. It makes no sense. The question is, I mean, Kevin and Sami for 6. The Usos will rock up, I expect, and put the titles on Roman and Solo. But the question is, how does it go down? That's the question, how it goes down. I'm expecting Roman to be distracted by them. Potentially, he gets rolled up and gets pinned on his 1000th day, but he still loses. Doubt his cast throughout the head of a table as Universal Champion.
Ooh, that'd be spicy.
That would be spicy for sure. He keeps his championships, obviously, sort of thing. Something else I had in mind was, did you guys see that bump on SmackDown?
Yes. With Roman to shoulder to
Solo. And Roman
yes.
got out of there quickly, sort of thing. I'm thinking like, back in my head, something started turning. I'm like, what if Roman accidentally, while he's trying to spear, and there will be a spear attempt in this match, tries to spear Sami. Sami gets out of the way and he spears Solo.
That's a good point. I can see
it. He spears Solo. Roman versus Solo at SummerSlam for the championships. There's so much they can do with this. There's so much they can do with it. Because Solo, someone needs to hold.
There is. And
Solo hold those straps. If Roman can wait for a little bit, someone does need to hold those straps. Because I've got a lot of time.
Overrated.
I've got a lot of time for Solo, but at the same time, they've got other things they could always do with it, sort of thing. But the implosion of the bloodline continues here with this match. And for me, it's either the Usos distract Roman, he gets pinned, or Roman spears Solo, and then Solo gets pinned. One of those two happen.
I have KO and Sami for 4, and I know this is not a popular opinion amongst us. I so badly want Roman and Solo to win this match. Because I would love to see Roman and Solo hold those tag team championships and face the Usos for the tag team championships.
I don't make you want to throw up.
Yeah, that is obviously not going to happen. I don't see it happening that way. The implosion of the bloodline is happening as we speak. I do think that Roman takes the pin in this match. I really do.
Too.
I don't think Solo's going to take the pin. I think he's protected right now to look like such a heel in this company that they're not going to have him take a pin here. And it does more for Roman taking a pin in this situation, I think, than it would for Solo, just storyline wise. So I do think the Usos get involved at some point and possibly cost Roman the match, which is why he gets pinned. Whether they're trying to super kick Sammy and they hit Roman instead, I don't know. But I see Roman eating a pin here, and I see KO and Sammy walking out still champs.
I have KO and Sammy for 5. I also would love to see Roman and Solo to get those straps, but I don't see. I try to like convince myself, I'm like, is there any possible scenario? I can't see any way, shape, or form they are able to take those titles off of them for storyline. It just doesn't make any sense. As far as the Usos, I think the Usos get involved, but I don't think they're out there to screw Roman and Solo. I think they come out there because they've had their family issues back and forth week after week. They always rekindle. So I think the Usos come out, try to help out Solo and Roman, but one of them accidentally causes them a distraction. I think Solo eats the pinfall, though, because I'm of the mindset where Roman needs to be absolutely perfect, unblemished, until Cody gets a hold of him. I think Roman should not take any pinfall. Solo can take the pinfall. And then it kind of plays into my theory of what it's going to be down the line. Because then I think the next episode of SmackDown, whenever Roman's going to be televised for it, I think he's going to come out there. He's going to yell at the Usos. He's also going to yell at Solo for eating that pinfall. And that's going to lead to the full demise of the bloodline. And then later on is where I see Solo, Jay, and Jimmy all turn on Roman, and then Cody gets it done to finish the story at SummerSlam or WrestleMania. I'm thinking SummerSlam, but if they want to extend it to WrestleMania, either way, I see all 3 members of the bloodline turning on Roman and then officially end the demise of, what we've had, probably the best 3-year storyline out of a faction we've ever seen.
So I'm going to preface this too, where I did say, like, the storyline has been, like, kind of not tarnished or softening a little bit. This match can do a lot to, I think, re-entry people back into this storyline. That's maybe, in my eyes, they need to get the fuck away from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And I think this match will do that for I have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning this match for 4. But I think this match will do that and focus more on the actual development of the bloodline implosion rather than going back to a feud that they should have already concluded at WrestleMania, in my opinion. So now I think they'll be able to focus more on that. And like you, gentlemen, I am very torn, but I also think Roman could take the pin in this match. The reason I don't know about that is because I don't know the only way I think he takes the pin is if the Usos turn on him in this match. So I don't necessarily know if that's going to come in this match or if it's going to come at SummerSlam, because that seems more likely to be the big spectacle of like that big turn. I just don't know if this is the time that they're going to do it. I think I weigh more with Sean that, something will screw up with them and then something will happen and somehow Roman or Solo will get pinned and they'll blame it on the Usos and Roman will blame it on the other folks that are involved. So I don't think the Usos necessarily turn yet, but I do think that is like very much on the way. The other portion of this, if they want to speed this up and they're doing it at SummerSlam, the Usos are turning at Night of Champions 100% if they do it at SummerSlam. I just don't. I think they're gonna wait it out for a while. So I think that there's no turn, but I do think the implosion is coming. I hope this for me also gets me very much back into like how much leading up to WrestleMania was very exciting. So that's what my hope is for this match. But I do have Kevin
for the record, I don't actually think Cody's taking them belts off Roman.
It's interesting. So
Why?
I just think he's the most logical person to do it.
He's I think he's the biggest baby face in the company right now. He's like the hottest thing going, I think.
And they should have already given him the belts.
He ain't that hot, trust me.
He already gave him the belts, though. They should have already given him the belts.
Cody's on Raw, and he won't get a cash-in opportunity. Even if he wins the Money in the Bank, there'll be one for Raw, there'll be one for SmackDown. He won't get a chance to cash in for the one for SmackDown.
He's gonna win the Royal Rumble next year again, coming in at number 1.
Okay, even I'm not that stupid
at WrestleMania. That's his ticket in.
I know it's a thing too. I don't even think Cody gets a clean victory, Roman. I think literally he picks up the pieces on Roman, and it's due to the bloodline interfering. And then Cody gets it. It's going to be it's a tough scenario because I think it's going to lose a lot of steam for Cody's momentum if they push this all the way to WrestleMania, because the focus is going to be Roman and Solo versus the Usos, and then Solo joining their brothers to turn on Roman. I feel like Cody's going to lose a little bit of steam because we're in a whole different direction as far as when's the bloodline like crumbling. And then Cody's over on the other show was trying to deal with Brock Lesnar problems. So it's a lot of like months that you got to build up and kind of regenerate that interest again, I feel.
I think Cody wins clean when he wins. It cannot be a fuck finish.
Would you guys be pissed if it was a cash-in?
Because you've already done that.
Well,
he's not winning Money in the Bank.
Let me put it this way:
if it was somebody other than Cody,
sure.
If it was
Drew
somebody
McIntyre
other than Cody for a cash-in, I wouldn't mind
Bank.
Cody can't cash in. If Drew wins Money in the Bank,
Drew's on SmackDown, so Drew will be cashing in on Roman.
I agree.
Unless AJ wins the belt. Unless AJ were to somehow win against Seth.
There's only one
at the moment.
AJ
goes knows what's going to happen. Money in the Bank. But what I will say, and I will just mention that you've.
I'm getting excited.
We don't know yet. Let's get past the championship. We got to mention there that Cody's going to win the Rumble and he's going to go to WrestleMania. Then what happens with Dwayne?
Rock is not going to WrestleMania 40. I don't know. We've already done this. We've done this for the past 3 or 4 years when he said he was going to come back and fight Roman. He put it in the show. He's done all this shit. LA was the place to do it because he's a fucking Hollywood guy. Everyone needs to get through their head.
We don't know that.
Rock is not coming back. Until I see it in front of my eyes, I will keep saying that. Because last year was the time to do it. He's been waiting 2 years to say, I'm doing it in LA. Now what? He's doing it in Philadelphia for WrestleMania 40?
No,
Philadelphia is a bigger spot for him than Los Angeles.
Is a bigger deal.
Get the fuck out of here with that. I understand the significance of that, and you can also have Roman wrestle twice, just like you were. They were going to do in 39.
And obviously, we're all big Cody fans here. I think if Cody wins the Rumble twice, he's going to lose a lot of fans. Fans are going to turn on him. I think not so much.
Yeah, Matt's not a huge Cody fan.
When he was in AEW, I generally thought he was the biggest waste of blood and organs in the company.
All right, fine. Well, me, Chris, and Jeremy are big Cody fans.
I'm still not the biggest fan. I think in WWE, to be fair, but I do get that he's
I just think if he wins the Rumble again, it's going to be like the Roman Reigns syndrome back when he was, the big dog, where fans are going to turn on him, and then it's going to lose. I just don't. First of all, I'm not a fan at all of people winning back-to-back Rumbles. I've never been a fan of it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I think you need to mix it up every year, bring in a new superstar to kind of a fresh start. I feel like it's too obvious at this point because if Cody doesn't win Money in the Bank, he's the only logical pick to win the Rumble to get to Roman, and I just can't see who else is there for. If Rock is not going to be there, I don't see anyone who else is available. I don't see Gunther versus Roman right now. Maybe down the line, but at WrestleMania 40, I do not see anybody besides Cody facing him.
So, the other thing I will say, is with this draft, they have said that they can make trades whenever they want. If they want to get Cody without winning Rumble, to Roman, they will. I do not think that should be a hiccup. Why are we even talking about this? They drafted 2 weeks ago, and they did a tournament for fucking both shows with people on it.
Yeah, they break the
I've been asking that for weeks. That's why Cody is going to get to Roman. It's not just Money in the Bank or Royal Rumble. It's if they want him to,
we're
they
all in
will.
agreement that this draft was a pile of dog shit.
I don't think I liked that they put people where they mixed it up. People needed new areas to be in. That's fine. The free agents are fucking stupid. The trades, all that stuff, they didn't necessarily lay out exactly what all that meant. But I don't think it was a terrible draft in terms of what they did. I thought it was very standard. Back in the day when they used to do like
the wild card rule, I'm like, first of all, the same people that you're like flip flopping back and forth, they're gonna see no change in. It's gonna be no TV time at all. Just gonna be like the top heavy, the top of the card guys being able to jump shows and then eat up all the TV time, which honestly I love because obviously the people. If I can get Roman on SmackDown and Raw every week, I'm all for it. But
yeah, he can't even show up to SmackDown. Don't worry though, Von Wagner is a free agent.
Yeah, make sure we don't have our sunglasses on indoors, boys.
Well, that's it for our predictions. What I want to say, Matt, I'm going to give you some time now as well. I want you to promote Good Cop, Bad Cop, and also anything you want to add to this episode. Put your stamp of approval on. We really appreciate having you.
My Matt Rushmore
thoughts.
Yes,
it's the name of your show.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. We completely forgot about it. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so I did task Matt to create his Mount Rushmore of wrestling, and I almost friggin' let him off the show without saying it. So let's hear it.
I've had it created for many, many years. This list. Best character in wrestling history. Long list. Number 1 is first ballot pick. It's The Undertaker.
Absolutely.
The longevity. No one will ever have a career that decorated ever again, and certainly not a character that is literally a fucking zombie biker, basically, with fucking lightning powers. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It could only happen in professional wrestling. Pick is Mick Foley.
It's so
okay, and I love that. Okay, I love the fact that he had so many different versions of himself. It's wonderful. Second, like 6'6", built chiseled. I'm thinking like the late superstar Billy Graham. Mick Foley showed that you haven't got to be a stereotypical guy. Hogan, you haven't got to be like Andre the Giant. You haven't got to have pythons bulging out of everyone, like Scott Steiner, for example. I genuinely think when Scott Steiner became available, Vince McMahon climaxed. I genuinely have that image in my head, which is wonderful. And now you're thinking of it now as well, so you're welcome. Yeah.
It's true.
The fact that Mick Foley made me think that people like me, and I weigh 330 pounds, makes you feel like someone of my size and someone of my build could be a professional wrestler. He laid the groundwork for people like Kevin Owens, who does not look like a professional wrestler. Traditionally does. But my God, is that man street, and that's why people can get behind him and relate to him so much. So that's why Mick Foley is on my Mount Rushmore. Talented, and my God, does he feel like a gun? Third one,
excellent storyteller as well, by the way.
Indeed,
he's hilarious.
Graham got to see him on the Hell in a Cell tour. Actually, yeah.
Oh, nice.
My third pick is Rikishi. Now you're probably asking why here.
Interesting.
The reason that I became a wrestling fan.
I would love to know why.
Okay, the reason why Rikishi is on the Mount Rushmore is because he is. When I mentioned earlier, I started watching in 1999, and I watched with a couple of friends. They had two of the 99 King of the Ring and the 99 VHS tapes of wrestling. We couldn't get a lot of wrestling here at the time, and they were gross, we'll say, but deep in the middle of the Attitude Era. So, Unforgiven. Average show, an event, and that event I chose to watch was free on. I was like, oh, it's all good and everything, but is it something I want to watch myself? So I thought I'm going to watch on UK TV that weekend, and it was the 2000 Armageddon.
Oh, nice.
The 6-man Hell in a Cell match.
Oh,
great match.
Oh yeah.
Now, I had for sure played SmackDown 2 Raw, one of the best video games of all time. Non-binary on that game. They were ahead of a curve, people, on that game. Because you could be. I remember my brother and my sister loved that game so much. You could actually create characters who were so that he could challenge for the women's championship, and you could have every championship on. Because China could compete for men's and women's championships. So they did. My brother created a character that was non-binary, basically, online in a ladder match, and it lasted 3 seconds.
Oh
you just up there, jump off and grab it on the way down, sort of thing. 3-second ladder match. The entrances were longer, but I only knew about Rikishi's Too Cool music at the time. So when Rikishi came out to a Bad Man, I'm a bad man. Yeah, I'm bad man. Yeah, and it wasn't. It was fine for what it was, sort of thing. But I didn't know the story going into it, sort of thing. So I was really happy for the catch-up video going into it. Seeing a man 400 pounds take that plunge, unbelievable. Add to the fact that it was revealed. I forget where it was revealed, but it was a couple of years ago. I found out Rikishi was supposed to win that match, and they changed the decision at the last championship.
He did it for The Rock.
For The Rock.
Moments. Keish was supposed to win The Rock to win the championship. Yep, and
he never got his chance.
It was ridiculous. The whole I did it for The Rock thing. They should have put that gimmick on Kurt Angle. Because Kurt Angle, the champion, when Austin came back. Kurt Angle debuted at Survivor Series the night that Austin hurt his neck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Perfect person to take advantage because it was a perfect angle. They just didn't do it.
Yep.
And my last pick, I've had this for a long time, and I'll stick with it. When I picked it back in 2019. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins back in 2018, I said was going to be the future. This is a guy who I thought would be the future of the industry. And we've talked about him a lot on the show today, actually. How does Chance's theme song, for heaven's sake? I mean, yeah, he doesn't even need to say anything in the future of WWE. Seth Rollins is so amazing on the microphone and getting a crowd. I mean, he hasn't got to say anything.
He's hilarious. He's excellent.
He is absolutely fantastic.
Even the wardrobe he wears every week just gets me dying.
Doesn't need a championship. Deserves one for sure. Doesn't. But he can do that because he's Seth freaking Rollins. He is that need one. He's just, and that was back in 2019. I said that he helped carry the company through the pandemic era, and I mean, look at him now. I mean, we were all there. I can say I so rarely get to say this. We were all there when we saw him beat Brock for the championship at WrestleMania 35. We didn't. Me and Graham didn't expect Seth and Brock to open the show.
Yeah. I remember also thinking like they weren't going to give us
we had
all
5
three winners that we
had 5
wanted going
wanted.
at least,
and we got 4 out of 5. We wanted Kurt to win. as well.
And that was like the debut of like when Brock kind of made his own rule of if I can't main event, I'm going on first.
Yeah.
I just meant for the main titles like Becky, Kofi, and Seth. I
We
did
thought
not
that.
think.
We also
I thought
wanted,
at least one of those three were losing.
We also wanted
Triple H Batista.
No, we wanted on the pre-show. We wanted Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins to win. That happened, which they did, and we wanted Angle to win. That didn't happen, unfortunately. But yeah,
100%. I was so mad when Corbin won that.
Yeah, side of the night was when I won the championships. Big iconic. Yeah.
Oh my god.
The ironic thing is that it's one of the biggest cheers. I don't know when you were in that stadium.
The people to the side of us were shitting on the Icons the whole night. Then they won. They got in. They started imitating them like they were fanboys of like them. It's like I'm like, dude, that's literally what they did. The whole match they were shitting on. They were like, oh, they fucking suck. As soon as they won, they get up and they do the pose. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Well, that was great. That's a great list, Matt. I also think like a personal Mount Rushmore is very personal to one person too, because everyone gets into wrestling at a different point. I think, even if it's around the same era, they've had interests that interest them, and you see yourself in them. And I think that's what's great about wrestling in general, and that's why I think a lot of us.
I need to do it at some point. I off the top of my head.
You women's as well.
I could have Miss Elizabeth. Not off the top of my head. Lundra Blaze.
Yep.
Mae Young.
Charlotte.
But the manager, one of the best of all time.
Okay.
And because while she was in charge, there was no scandals in the company. Stephanie McMahon. She can still go. As we've seen.
Stephanie does deserve a lot of credit too. I think she goes undervalued in a lot of conversations.
She was great.
In terms of wrestling ability, Lita.
Her choice. I think Trish
and there's an image I could
can go a little harder than her these days.
You should have been welcome to that image, but I don't want it.
Oh God! Well, the Mattnificent one, it was absolutely fantastic to have you on. We're gonna have you all back, and we will do the first ever trivia challenge, podcast versus podcast. I'm counting. I guess I'm gonna have to host, or maybe Sean will host because we need the best guns out there.
Sorry, Sean.
Wait, Chris got a host with me.
I have said I will take you on in a handicap.
Oh, okay. That is fair, Sean. So we will do that in the meantime.
I'm happy to take you all on handicap.
Yeah, Matt did say a handicap match. He would have no problem doing it. So
against all of us. Could you imagine? Oh man.
Oh God. I can't.
Might be barking up the wrong tree with that one.
Yeah, I agree. But thank you again so much for being here. Just promote yourself one more time, the podcast.
I'd be delighted to. You can find me personally at the Madtech UK on Twitter because someone had Madtech before I got there. You can find me every Sunday on Visionaries Global Media, co-hosting the Good Cop Bad Cop Wrestling podcast with Graham. Find that at Good Bad Wrestle. Get involved in the fan cop moment stuff. There's lots of wrestling. The Phoenix Flash podcast. You've got the JGB Sports podcast. We love to hear your fans' opinions, and you disagree with them. You can, as I say, on Vision Media, you've got all podcasts. We're a 9-year-old podcast host, the youngest podcast host in the Western Hemisphere. People support Bad Card as Graham's personal project. Support the local baseball as well. You've also got, when it comes back to Good Card, you got Game Junkies and Chris Talks Games with me and Chris alternating every Saturday. Talk about gaming and Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeons Weekly on the network. Like a bit of tabletop, but place to be. You guys are welcome to come and join us at some point for a little game as well.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate you. Stay tuned for our Double or Nothing show coming to you this Friday. Thank you again to our guest, and you all have a good one.